What's good, Boxing World? This is Eb, your host of On the Ropes. Got a special guest today, straight out the nation's capital, Southeast DC. Jalil Hackett. Just waiting for him to come in, and then we'll get started. Also waiting for people to come on in as people get notified about the live. Sure, I need to play some music in the background while people get notified of the live. I think I'm going to start doing that. Roman Rooster in the house, man. The best chicken in DC, man. I love that chicken. Roman Rooster over in Northeast DC. Respect. What's good, Rashid? You got to hold on, Rashid, because I got a special guest, Jalil, coming on today. As soon as Jalil get that notification, just hit that button, Jalil. I'm good, Rashid. Jalil, what's
Hey,
good, man?
how you doing?
I'm good, man. How about yourself today?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. Can't complain.
Right here, I got the creator of the Young Guns movement, man.
Man, how y'all? Young guns, yeah, man. I don't. Hey, it speaks for itself. There's nothing I can really say about the young guns. Young guns speak for themselves, man. So yeah,
It's kind of crazy. I was listening into Blue Blood Sports yesterday, man. They actually brung you up talking about, the sparring with Devin Haney. You want to talk about that?
real questions. It's just I'm seeing that the fight with Gary Russell is looking like it might not happen, and y'all may get the fight with Gamboa. And me, Jalil Hackett, I'm a young gun from Washington D.C. I actually started the young gun movement. If y'all end up fighting Gamboa, man, I want to come out to camp with y'all, man. I need to work. You're a young gun, I'm a young gun, and yeah, I'm trying to get out there and work. Okay, definitely. It's a done deal.
All right, I'm out here with Jalil, man. I just noticed, man, you called into the Aki show, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm saying it's starting to look like the fight with Gary and Devin Haney was gonna happen. That was gonna be a good ass fight too. But I'm saying that the fight ain't gonna happen, and Devin looked like he moving on to bigger things, and he might even be fighting Gamboa next. And shit, since he fighting Gamboa next, and of course he gonna be going into camp, I said, shit, let me call in, and he gonna need to work. And even if he ain't get a taste of DC with Gary Russell, he get a taste of DC from Jalil Hackett. I said, man, I'll reach out and I'll stay for the whole camp if you want me to.
Well, you say if he can't get Ugg, you can definitely get the nephew up.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Hopefully we get a response. Man, if not, it's still Young Guns all day. I mentioned it not too long ago because I seen that the fight with Devin and Gary looked like it wasn't going to happen. So I was like, shit, if they're not going to fight, I let them go out there and just get some work with them. Just because it's like, I feel like people were saying, oh, Gary making the city look bad, stuff like that. And some people may have thought that. I didn't think he was making the city look bad. I just thought it was, contract stuff. The fight couldn't get worked out, simple as that. But I was like, shit, I could go give him some work if he wanted to, get a taste of DC, get a taste of the DMV. I could definitely give him a taste of it.
That's interesting, being the fact that you did, start out in the Russell's gym.
Yeah, since a youngin, since I was my first time boxing.
You know, just speaking on that, you have been recently. You're currently in camp right now with Malik Hawkins.
Yeah.
What was the deciding factor to go into camp with Malik? Because a lot of people were wondering when you were going to be in camp with Tank, and I wanted you to explain what was the deciding factor to start out your camp with Malik Hawkins.
A lot of people would hit me up. People still hit me up today. When you going to camp with Tank? When you gonna be in camp with Tank? And I keep telling them, like, I'm in camp with Malik Hawkins right now, and I Malik Hawkins fights October 10th, and Tank fights 2 weeks later. So I'm like, after Malik Hawkins goes away to fight, I'll definitely go out there if I'm still needed for like the last week or so for sparring for Tank. But so people don't know the background there, inside talk. So when Tank's camp first started, almost all of Baltimore upped and went to Vegas for Tank's camp. And the plan was for Malik Hawkins to go out there too, but he had already started camp in Frederick, Maryland. And I thought to myself, if I go out there with Tank too, who gonna be here with Malik Hawkins? And people were saying like, oh, he got Malik Warren and he got Monzo. And I'm like, that's only two people. And so I said, man, how about I stay here for a couple weeks with Ice while he get ready, and then after he leaves to go to the bubble in Connecticut, I can go out to Vegas. So I stayed for a couple weeks. Then I said, why stay for a couple weeks when I can stay for the whole camp and help my guy? And on top of that, me and Malik, throughout this camp and even before this camp, we started to grow real close. So I couldn't just leave him hanging.
Yeah, that's the one thing about it, man, that people don't know that you have a tight bond. Oh, shout out to Ellie sat back in the house tuning in to you, Jalil. Shout out to DC Mike tuning in also as well, straight out of DC. I just wanted to give those acknowledgments. But yeah, a lot of people don't know that you and Malik, have a really tight, close bond. And right now, with this fight coming up for Malik against Sabriel Matisse, that this is a very huge fight for Malik. That it's a stepping.
It could be the turning point in his career. So it was like the biggest fight in his career. I gotta be a part of that. I gotta help with that. I couldn't see myself going to Vegas with Tank for his fight, even though this is also one of the biggest fights in Tank's career. I couldn't see myself going to a camp that's already stacked of great fighters helping him get ready for a fight and leaving him hanging by himself. I couldn't see myself doing that.
Now, for the first couple of weeks of Malik's camp, it was actually up in Philly. What was that experience like going up to Philly? Was that at Boots Gym?
Yes. I went up there twice. I went up there on 2 different weekends. Both experiences were nice. I got to work with Boots, Jerron Ennis, who's personally one of my favorite fighters at 147, at the 147 area. Also, I got to get work with other fighters that were there, and it was a real good experience. Malik Hawkins, he said he learned a lot up there, messing with Coach Bozy Ennis. Shout out to Coach Bozy. I learned a lot from Bozy too in the 2 weekends I went up there. And yeah, that whole Philly area, straight dogs up there.
Shout out to Monzo in the building. I see he tuned in.
Monzo, what's up, man? That's another person that's in camp with Malik Hawkins, helping him get ready for this fight. And you gotta ask Monzo, man. We bringing it to Malik, and that's our guy. We bringing it to him, and he bringing it right back. So come October 10th, he don't know that guy. So if he bring it to us like that, what you think gonna do to him?
What's your prediction on that fight on October the 10th?
Man, Malik Hawkins is gonna put on a show. He's gonna show y'all. He's gonna bring his lunch and his work hat to work that day, and y'all gonna see that's a working man. Everything. I feel like everything Malik has done throughout his pro career, everything has been earned. A lot of people say they don't like the way he fight, but he a dog. He gonna go get it at the end of the day. His past couple fights, they had him down on the scorecards, or they said it was a close fight, and he still ended up coming back and stopping the dude. So that says a lot about Malik Hawkins. He a real gorilla.
Just how many more weeks do you have left in the camp?
Um, if I'm not mistaken, 2 more weeks because you have to report to the bubble for 10 days in Connecticut. So I think 2 more weeks.
Now, with that being said, what do you plan on doing the last 2 weeks of camp?
Um, Yesterday we did some sparring, but it was more so Malik sharpening up tools. The first couple weeks of camp, it was more so put him through the ringer, man. Everybody get in there with Malik, man. Try and go kill him. But these next couple weeks, man, we really just sharpening up the tools. Making sure everything he's gonna do in the fight, we work on that in sparring. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna be more than ready for this fight.
Now, I gotta ask, man, have you heard anything back from Devin yet about that sparring out in Vegas?
I've seen a couple of the comments on the posts and stuff like that. I haven't really talked to Devin personally. I've seen a couple comments on the post and stuff. So it may happen. If it does, I'll be thankful. If it doesn't, oh well. But I love to work with Devin. That's in my eyes. I look at him as he's the king of the young guns right now because out of all of us, he's a world champion and he's a youngin. Only Devin is only 21, 21-year-old world champion. So in my eyes, he's the king of the young guns. So yeah, being able to work with somebody like that'll really let me know where I am as a fighter. I've been working with all these other pros. You got guys like Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson. We got a guy who I think is going to be an Olympic gold medalist come 2021, Keyshawn Davis. A lot of these top guys I've been working with, and that's what makes you get better. I feel like most people saying, fighting pro fights is going to make you get better. And I believe in due time, the pro fights will help you get better. But let's just be honest. Your first couple fights, you're not really fighting these world beaters. You fighting decent guys, but they're not really as good as the sparring I've been getting. So working with a guy like Devin Haney, it really let me know where I am as a fighter.
Now, what has your man Derek been saying, man, about all this publicity that you've been getting lately?
Man, he been loving it. Him and Mr. Allaby, they both. I talk to them consistently. And they both been loving it, and they're like, man, keep your foot on the pedal. That's what they keep saying, man. Keep your foot on the pedal.
With that being said, with your notoriety that you've been getting, man, and getting in the different work and different sparring throughout the country, do you think it'll be hard for you to find your opponent?
So. I feel like I got one of the best promotion companies in the game, so they'll figure something out. But the publicity may make it a little hard, but Mayweather Promotions always finds a way.
Yeah, shout out to 87 TV in the house. I see they tuned in also as well.
Say it again.
Shout out to 87 TV.
Oh, okay. 87 TV. I just did an interview with them right before the corona started, man. Those good people up there. I've known them for a long time.
Yeah, definitely good people right there. Now, I got to ask, man. Now, with the fight supposedly supposed to happen between Devin Haney and Gamboa on the 7th of I believe November. November 7th.
Yeah.
Now, what if you were to get that call from Gamboa's camp?
It's crazy you say that, man. I've actually been in talks with Gamboa's camp, and they were talking about bringing me out if they do get the fight with Devin Haney. And at that point, I would love to work with Devin Haney, but it's about the highest bidder. If they were talking big money for sparring per week, and if Devin Haney's camp can beat it or match it, I would definitely go out there with Devin Haney. But
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. I actually realized, man, that Gamboa camp actually reached out to you also as well.
Yeah, they actually, and they're willing to pay. So you gotta go with where the money is. So yeah, I'm definitely talking back and forth with both. I'll definitely be talking back and forth with both camps if they do make the fight. But yeah, that fight happens is about the highest bidder.
Man, how exciting is that for you, man, to be at the age of 17 to get this much publicity, notoriety? Any sponsorships come your way yet?
Little ones here and there, little small ones, but that's always a good start. I feel real good knowing that the average 17-year-old right now, they probably, worrying about doing the virtual learning, stuff like that. They just worry about graduating. And if they are focusing on the sport, they're still like most of them are still at the lower level of the sport. They're still amateurs. And technically I'm still an amateur too. I haven't fought a pro fight. But yeah, it feels good to be in the position I'm in.
Now, how can a young fighter become a young gun, man? Explain that.
Man, the young gun criteria is simple. You know, under 25, and you got to be willing. You got to be willing to work with whoever. Man, you got to consider yourself a world beater, and that's how you become a young gun.
Hey, man, I really appreciate your time as always, man.
I appreciate you,
Bro, man, we coming up together through the mud, man. I appreciate it, man. Straight out of Southeast DC.
Y'all already know, man. Keep tabs on me, and I got big stuff coming for y'all all the time.
I mean, I appreciate your time as always, Jalil.
All right, Zeb. Thank you.
All right. All right, there you have it, young Jalil Hackett, straight out of Southeast DC in the house, man. I want to thank everyone who tuned in today for On the Ropes. I'm Zeb. I'm out. Oh, before I leave, within 15 minutes, man, I got an interview with another youngin' straight out of DC who's actually into NASCAR. The NASCAR. So we're gonna actually talk about that. So tune in at 5 o'clock for that. And later tonight, Jerron Business post fight. We out.